Esta es una clase que utiliza el método natural o el método comunicativo. ¿Qué es el método comunicativo? What do you think the natural approach or the communicative approach is? Anybody?
And
Any
as
ideas?
far as I am concerned, you may answer in English.
Yes. What?
Acusación, hablar en español.
Okay. Pero en inglés, ¿qué es para usted the communicative approach? The acquisition.
Speaking the language, speaking in the language we're trying to acquire.
Okay.
But also in speaking the language we're trying to acquire, just to speak it. In other words, as if it was going to be a day-to-day type situation. We're going to talk as if we're among friends. We're not going to have to worry about total grammatical characterization about it, worry about a participle at the end of anything, or if my verb's in the wrong place, just a natural conversation.
Okay. Muy bien, Roy. Another?
First we have to listen,
That's right. Uh-huh.
como un bebé.
Como un bebé. Uh-huh. Okay. Then, what?
We experiment.
Say. And what kind of experiments do we do here in class?
We ask questions, we talk to one another, we interview one
We act
another.
out interviews and
Mm-hmm.
scenarios.
So it's an interactive class, right? Mhm. Okay.
Plus, it's a class of information. In other words, we don't have a script. We don't have just only little specific things that we're dealing with. As a question came out earlier today is, who were the three kings? And Gilberto, he gave us our answer. All right, and it extends from there. We talk about culture, we talk about music, we talk about different ideas and concepts, those things we like, those things we don't like. And it's living it. It becomes a living language.
Do you think this helps you learn the language easier than studying vocabulary, studying grammar, things like that?
Definitely, because it's something that I'm interested in. In other words, if I have a question about a particular word or where it came from or how it was generated, I mean, we're talking about the sound of the word for turkey. In American, it's gobble, gobble, gobble. And in Spanish, it's
Guajolote,
guajolote.
the Mexican word.
The Mexican word. So, I mean, we get involved, and because we are involved, our interest is higher than we're going to study this word. In quote, just studying this word, I might not have an interest.
We cover the same things that traditional courses do, but we do it in a different sequence. We start talking very early. We start reading and asking each other questions, what have you. Grammar comes later, but we cover grammar. Verbs, tenses come later, but we cover those things. It's just that we don't start with the rules and then try to put those in place in a conversation. Hopefully in time, we will get beyond short sentences to longer, more complicated sentences.
So when you use grammar, it's because you might say, well, how do I talk about that in the past tense? Because it actually happened last week.
Yeah.
And then you learn about the past tense?
Yeah.
Is that sort of what you're doing in here, Guillermo?
Yes. The natural approach tries to duplicate the way a child acquires his or her first language. There's a comprehension input, then there's a production step. Students have more comprehension, certainly, and then later on they begin to speak, not in full sentences, but by nodding their heads, and then by saying sí, no, then one word, two words, a phrase, then eventually a full sentence. Not necessarily correct, grammatically correct, but a full sentence nevertheless. Okay? So grammar is secondary. Okay?
Can I ask you, what would you say TPR is?
Oh, it's stands for total physical response. And first the students see me, they watch me do a series of TPR, total physical response activities. Then we follow up by me giving them commands, okay? I have to introduce them to the vocabulary first, then they go ahead and do the total
Like
physical
stand up, sit down, open the
Yes.
door, turn out the
Yes,
lights?
And it progressively gets more difficult by saying women with long hair,
Ah.
blonde hair, stand, turn around, okay?
Okay, women with long hair.
Blonde long hair.
No
We've got-
blonde hair.
Narrows it down.
But we'll demonstrate an activity that we did last semester, okay? And it'll be with datos personales, personal data.
Okay, okay. We've got about 3 minutes left.
Ok. Kevin, por favor, póngase de pie, camine a la pizarra y escuche al profesor. Escuche al profesor. Sí. Tome tiza, bien. Y escuche al profesor. Escuche al profesor. Sí. En la parte superior del papel o de la pizarra, al lado derecho, escriba su nombre y apellido. Escriba su nombre y apellido. En la parte superior, a la derecha, sí. Escriba su nombre y apellido. Su nombre y apellido. Nombre y apellido. Bien. Ahora, en la parte inferior, a la izquierda de la pizarra, escriba su número de teléfono. En la parte inferior, a la izquierda, ¿sí? Escriba su número de teléfono. Su número de teléfono. Sí, su número de teléfono. Bien. En la parte superior, a la izquierda, escriba su lugar de nacimiento. Su lugar de nacimiento. O sea, ¿dónde nació usted? ¿Dónde nació usted? Su lugar de nacimiento. Bien, ahora, debajo de su nombre, escriba su fecha de nacimiento. Su fecha de nacimiento. Debajo de su nombre, escriba su fecha de nacimiento. ¿Cuándo? ¿Cuándo nació usted? Yo nací en junio, el 19. ¿Y usted cuándo nació? ¿Cuándo nació? Bien, su fecha de nacimiento, sí, y el año también, el año. ¿Y qué año es? ¿En qué año nació usted? Kevin, ¿en qué año nació usted?
1975.
Muy bien, 75, bien. Ahora en la parte inferior de la pizarra, a la derecha, escriba la fecha de hoy. La fecha de hoy. Sí. ¿Qué día y qué mes es hoy? ¿Qué día? Es el 20, 21, 22, 23. Sí, la fecha de hoy.
¿De años?
No sus años, pero la fecha de hoy. Hoy es,
Sí.
sí,
Hoy es
23, bien. Muy bien, Kevin. Bien, ahora. Bien. Ahora, debajo de su número de teléfono, escriba la dirección de su casa. Debajo de su número de teléfono. Debajo, sí. Muy bien, Kevin. Ahora en el centro del papel. Gracias, Kevin.
Okay,
Ahora.
okay. Y clase, muchísimas gracias.
De nada.
Adiós.
Adiós.
putting him on the spot.